look like they wouldn't even know that you're fasting. Because what you're doing when you're fasting is not so I can see it and say, hey, you know what? Lord, take care of that guy. He's fasting. He's good. No, it's because you're doing it for the Lord. You're fasting to show the Lord that you're depending on Him, that you're coming before Him, that you're in dedication to Him. Keep it that way. So in 18 he says, so that it will be not obvious to men that you're fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Again, the same thing that we just saw through these things is if you're coming to God, you need to be doing this in a way that is between you and God. Not that men can see you, not that you can be praised or even seen in that way. You need to even go above and beyond that to show that, to make it just not obvious. That you need to, that you're coming to the Lord and that's just between you guys, between you and the Lord. All right, let's move on here. And this is where, to me, it gets real good. It's from 19 down. Because it speaks to me in a lot of ways. Growing up, like I said, I got saved about 12 years old, but I still have my mindset in the things of this world. I still had my criteria for a successful life, for the things that I thought were important based upon the things of this world. And what we're going to read right here speaks a lot to me, because this is God, the creator of heaven and earth, standing here and telling me what's important and telling me what I need to be spending my time, resources, and energy on. So let's begin here in verse 19. Jesus says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. Is there anything that you can ever build, acquire, create, purchase, anything on this earth that's going to stand, 1,000 years from now? I mean, if you're lucky, something you bought, your house will stand after you're gone, maybe. A company you built, you might be able to hand down to your kids or grandkids. But most things that we buy, not only are they not going to be here, but they're decaying right before your very eyes. They're falling apart right as you get them. The clothes you bought are already faded from the washing machine. The car you bought has already got to go in the shop. The computer you bought last week is out of date. These things happen, and we see it happen right in front of our very eyes. Yet we continue to hold on to these things and hold on to the things of this world. But none of it, Jesus is telling us, none of it is going to last. So it's going to catch on fire. It's going to get rusted. It's going to get destroyed. Someone's going to come in your house and steal it. If it's good enough and it's lasting longer than anything else, hey, I want that. Take that in my house. They're going to take it. There's nothing that you can work for, nothing that you spend your time and your week and your energies and your resources entertaining and pursuing that is going to last beyond, let alone beyond your life, but for an eternity. Verse 21, Jesus says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And what's that mean? Where you're building up your things that you're working for, that's where your heart's going to be. That's where your energies, your resources, your time, your minds, your thoughts, processes are going to be on these things. Wherever your treasure is, that's what you're thinking about. That's what you're concerned with. That's what you're concerned about. If it's on the things of this world, guess what? It's going to be reflected in your life. You're going to be spending most of your time thinking, how am I going to attain this? How am I going to get that promotion? How am I going to get that client? How am I going to do this thing to be able to reach the level or attain the thing that I need for my family? Let's keep going here. We're in verse 22. And Jesus says, is that an echo?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Jesus says, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? What he's saying is if your eyes are the lamp to your body, they're going to color whatever's on the inside. They're going to color you on the inside, and that's who you're going to be. Whatever you're looking at, whatever you're listening to, you can extend that to, whatever your input that you're putting in, whatever your eyes are getting in there, is what's going to make you up to who you are. You know, you can be a Christian like I was, and try to live a certain way in my life, but still watching certain things, listening to certain things, doing certain things, and thinking, oh no, that's not going to be who I am, because I'm still a good man, a good husband, a good Christian, a good father, whatever. But I let all these things in. This is my Creator telling me that once you let those things in, that's who you're going to be on the inside. That's what's going to color all your stuff on the inside. So if you let in good things, if you're about good things, if you're about watching good things, if you're about watching and hearing good things, if you're about doing good things, that's what's going to be on the inside, and that's what's going to come out. But if you're about doing things in darkness, you're about watching things of darkness, listening to things of darkness, that's what you've got on the inside, that's what's going to come out. And how great is that darkness? Verse 24, Jesus says, no one can serve two masters. Either he's going to hate the one and love the other, or he'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Now that's a very pointed statement. That's very clear. It's not that you're going to, spend a little bit of less time on this and get most of my time to this, and I like them both, but this one is a little bit more. No, he says you're going to hate the one and love the other. That's, what does that mean? What does that mean? I want you to, if you will, just picture in your mind for a minute someone who you might think is someone who serves God. Someone who's serving God. What that person might look like, male, female, whatever. We don't need to talk about it. But I just want you to think about a picture of that person. What do they spend their time doing? Okay? What do they get up in the morning and do? What do they go to before they go to bed? What do they do day in, day out? What is it someone who's a pastor, someone who's a missionary, someone who uses the gifts that God has given them in their work to reach the people that God has put in front of them? Is it someone who uses their gifts to do the things that he's told them to do, to go into all nations, to make disciples, teach them his commandments, and baptize them? Is it someone... Think about all those things, okay? Now I want you to contrast that with the thought of someone who serves money. And what is that person doing in their life? What does that person concern themselves when they wake up in the morning? Okay, because when I first read that, when I was younger, and probably most of my life, I don't serve money. Not me he's talking about there. I just get it so I can buy something. I'm just working every day because, hey, I got to pay the mortgage. I got to pay the rent, whatever. I don't serve money. I just do it because I got to do it. Because that's what you got to do to live. But if you contrast that to what it means to serving God, to what it means to serving money, I, in fact, very much was serving money. When I woke up in the morning, my concerns and thoughts were about my job for that day, my work. I was in retail, ran stores, and I had different stores, so I would think of how am I going to improve this store, how I was going to improve that store, how I was going to shine enough so that my boss would say, hey, you're ready for the next promotion. Those are my thoughts. Or how am I going to be able to get enough money here so we can buy the car that we need? Or different things like that. That's what I was thinking when I get up in the morning. Or when I go to bed at night, I got to make sure tomorrow I make that phone call, do that, and write that down. That's what's on my mind. That's where my time, my resources, my energy is. Right? Now, I reserved a little bit over here, for God, and said, hey, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to, Sunday, I'm going to church. And I made sure that, I told my work on Sundays that I'll be in church, I made a stand there. I did certain things. But in reality, what does Jesus say about that? Did he say that I'm going to hate the one and love the other? That's what he said.